later, no more blood. The sisters took me to the doctor. They made him marry me. He found a new job working the lakes. They say the lakes don't give up their dead. Cold water's out on the lakes. He was out on the lakes when I had Helen. She was so little, so precious, so frail. She cried, and she has good hearing to nurse the scratches. Those were the happiest times. I would bring her home, back to the school in the carriage. He would be away. I had a garden, working it, scabby mommy knees for the fearful little girl in the cold. Gray days and cold nights. The winds were strong out on the lake. Strong. The winds work all year long in Chicago. Helen was growing up faster than I could handle. The sisters would help watch her. I kept our little patch of garden growing, and he would come home once every
year and a half or so, Daddy would show up. We were so happy. I'd run into his arms. I was his baby girl. He'd hold me in his arms, and we'd fall asleep in the big chair, then his big steak breakfast and Mama's garden vegetables for lunch. Daddy would devour Mama's vegetables. I'd help rinse them off. We'd all be in the kitchen and fill bowls and plates with red and green fresh vegetables. Our tiny house holds no secrets. Paper-thin walls echo the anger. Thump, thump, stomp. Daddy was always noisy. Mama made no noise. No noise. Daddy would try to be home in time for Christmas, my birthdays, if he could manage it. He'd always bring me a little doll, a little something he found in one of his books. He worked the engine rooms of the ships, the bowels, dark innards of the mighty steel shipping lanes on the brutal lakes. He was strong for a boy, a man with strong hands, hands that smelled of engine oil, and diesel fuel, and alcohol. I hated the smell of alcohol in his breath. He would laugh and I would turn my face away. And that night, before my 10th birthday, he was with me. What are you doing here? The awful smell, his hands grabbing me. I was silent, listening walls. His hand pressed against my mouth. I tried to cry out, "What are you doing here? No! No!" Clawing, large hands, about to break in his little girl's garden. He broke it. The pain, the blood. I tried to cry out. His hand pressed me silent. The next morning, Daddy was gone. My mama saw the blood
all over her sheet. No more boy, man. After that, I had the Chicago Evangelical Girls' School for the Deaf and Dumb find out when his ship would be docking. I had Helen away from then on. It won't happen. Not with my precious Helen. Never again. 3 months later, Edward was around the house more and more, helping to kind of fix up the place. Soon he and Helen, well,
it all happened so fast. Before I knew it, I was with Edward, a kind, warm, gentle man. Edward would take care of me, take me away from the smell of engine diesel and alcohol, take this broken branch of a girl and let me heal and grow. And I did. We did. I didn't see Daddy again until after
Emily was born in the early morning hours. A girl. We are deep with girls. He came ashore, Emily sleeping in the house. A small, thin house. Another girl, he says. A smile, those big hands rubbing. Never more. You know how much I love little girls, he says. Rubbing me, rubbing his hands together. No more. Dinner tonight. Steak. Vegetables. Lots of fresh vegetables from my garden. And his favorite, mushrooms. Special ones tonight. I know where to look. In the dark corners. The deep, dark, musty corners. I know where to look. Where to find the perfect ones. No more. He left that night. No more noise. No more pain. No more. By the next
morning, I woke terrified at the crashing of hail on the tin roof of our little house. The sisters say the ice comes from the tears of the frozen angels. They say he died that morning, still in port. Daddy had gotten ill and fallen asleep. He never woke up. It's a tradition that a sailor be buried at sea. They never give up their dead. Mama had him cremated. Ashes.
Ashes in my can. Just a handful left. No burial at sea. Not spending his eternity in life-giving water. Not him. Dissolved. Not with courage. Courage at sea. Courage with sailors. No, sir. He will be dissolved. Dissolved into the hole.
Weeks later, Edward had his accident. An explosion from an airplane. I was 5 months along. Edward's never seen his baby girl. Then we began our journey. I brought along the Victrola. Momma brought her records.
My records are for dancing. I shall trot away the nightmares, stomp on his miserable grave. Miles and miles, hundreds and thousands, tread him to the floor. Tread, dissolve under wheels,